If you've ever bought a cheap CNC router only to realize the included spindle can't handle real work, or the control board craps out after a few jobs, you know the sinking feeling of buyer's regret. I've been there too, dropping cash on something that looks good on paper, but falls apart in practice. That's why I wanted to test the Tenhai 6090-2200W CNC router. It's not the cheapest option out there, but after digging into the specs and watching how it actually performs, I think it's one of those tools that punches above its price tag. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. This machine sits in a sweet spot for hobbyists and small makers who need more than a toy, but don't want to step up to industrial pricing. The headline feature is the 2200W water-cooled spindle, which is a big deal if you're planning to cut anything harder than balsa wood or soft plastics. Cheap routers often skimp on the spindle, and you end up with burned edges or a dead motor after a few hours. The water cooling here helps keep temperatures down, so it's not just running hot and slowing you down. That's practical value you don't always see in the marketing. Then there's the upgraded fourth axis. If you've ever tried to carve a cylinder or wrap text around a mug, you know how frustrating it is when the machine can't handle the extra axis without glitches. This one includes a dedicated fourth axis port, so you're not stuck hacking together a solution. It's not plug and play like a $5,000 machine, but it's a step up from the basic 3-axis setups that force you to manually rotate your workpiece. For anyone doing sign making, cylindrical engraving, or even simple fourth-axis toolpaths, that's a real time saver. The USB port is another detail that matters more than you'd think. Some routers lock you into proprietary software or require a clunky parallel port setup. This one supports USB, which means you can use common CAM programs like Fusion 360 or VCarve without jumping through hoops. I tested it with a few different files, and the connection stayed stable even when running longer jobs. That's not something you can say about every budget machine. Now, let's talk about the ball screw upgrade. Most entry-level routers use lead screws, which are fine for light work, but wear out fast and introduce backlash. Ball screws are smoother and more precise, and they hold up better under repeated use. If you're cutting aluminum or doing fine detail work, that difference matters. It's not a magic bullet, you'll still need to tune your feeds and speeds, but it's a solid foundation for cleaner cuts. That said, this isn't a machine for everyone. If you're only doing light woodwork or basic engraving, you could probably get away with a cheaper model. The 2200W spindle is overkill for pine or MDF, and the fourth axis adds complexity that might not be worth it unless you're doing specific projects. Also, assembly isn't trivial. The instructions are decent, but you'll need basic mechanical skills to get it dialed in. If you're not comfortable squaring the frame or tuning the axes, you might end up frustrated. Another thing to consider is the software ecosystem. The USB port helps, but you're still responsible for your CAM setup. If you're used to plug-and-play machines, this one requires more hands-on work. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's a trade-off for the lower price point. So who should buy this? If you're a hobbyist or small maker who needs a reliable, mid-range router for wood, soft metals, or plastics and you're willing to put in the time to set it up properly, this is a smart buy. The water-cooled spindle, ball screws, and fourth axis support give you capabilities that usually cost a lot more elsewhere. If you're just starting out or only doing occasional light work, you might be better off with something simpler. At the end of the day, the Tenhai 6090-2200W CNC router delivers where it counts, real-world performance without the sticker shock. It's not perfect, but the features that matter most, spindle power, precision, and expandability, are all here. Check it out on Amazon using the link in the description if it fits your needs.